So, gyms don't matter. It is the 23rd of June 2020, and we've just had the announcement from the UK Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. Now, this does not pertain specifically to Scotland. We're, of course, dealt with by Nicola Sturgeon as it stands, but this is at least something that the UK can see as where the priorities lie. And as it stands, gyms don't seem to be a priority. The UK has reopened, or will be reopening, pubs, will be reopening restaurants, hair salons, nail bars, but for some reason, gyms are not on the list. Now, myself, like many others in the UK, in Scotland, England, Wales, and the full UK, Ireland, thought that gyms would be reopening on the 4th of July, or at least mid-July, as that was the dates getting bandied about, and that's what people thought was going to happen. Now, for the fitness industry, for gyms specifically not to be mentioned in the same breath as these other places is despicable, is ridiculous, is absolutely insane. And I'll tell you why for a couple of different reasons. Now, before I begin, this isn't something to go gyms against pubs or put down pubs, because I know many pub owners, I know many people who own restaurants and their businesses matter too, but I feel as though they should be at least in the same category. And here's a couple of things to think of. When it comes to social distancing, when it comes to, let's change that, physical distancing, because I think that distancing isn't social, we should change it to physical distancing. When it comes to sanitizing, when it comes to looking after your health, well-being, and those around you, the last thing that you're going to do when you're in a pub and you've been drinking and you're 8 drinks in, you're drinking somebody else's drink, you're bumping into people, you're potentially starting a fight, you're kissing somebody, that's not social distancing. You're intoxicated, there's far more chance of error happening. You aren't going to tell me that you're going to be drunk out your mind and the first thing you're going to think of is, I better sanitise my hands, I'll go and wash my hands again after I get this next pint in. That is going to be the last thing on your mind. Not to mention, the full thing about going out to a pub or somewhere that sells alcohol is to get drunk. Now again, I completely understand the social aspect. I like going out to pubs myself. I like going out and having a drink myself. But alcohol brings down your immune system. It suppresses your immune system. It has many, many negative effects on your liver, kidneys, and so on and so forth, especially when it comes to overconsumption. And realistically, it makes you more susceptible to having further negative effects when you catch viruses, such as the current coronavirus pandemic. Gyms, the fitness industry, has been through a huge amount of change in the past few months. Gyms have upped their deep cleaning protocols, have introduced hand sanitising stations in many places around the facilities, have made sure that machinery is 2 metres 6 feet apart, have made sure that there is additional sprays, antibacterial sprays, wipes, signage everywhere, walkways with tape on them to show 2 metres apart. They have done absolutely everything you can imagine to make the place as safe, as friendly, as safe, as best as it possibly can for reopening. Which, I might add, all the gyms that have done this have had no guidance on what they should have done by the government. There has been no guidance whatsoever to say this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do, here's what we recommend. It has been, what are other countries doing? What are other countries that have reopened have done? And what should we be doing? Now our gym has done absolutely all of that, as I imagine many other gyms around the UK have done. Gyms are a place where people's physical and mental health are top priority. Gyms are filled with health conscious people who have an understanding of why they're there. They're there to get fitter, they're there to get healthier, and therefore they have a far better chance of making sure that their health and well-being and those around them is paramount. Sanitising, spraying down equipment, sanitising your hands, washing your hands, staying 6 feet apart is all things that can be done in a gym and that are far more likely to be done in a gym. Not to mention, you are benefiting your immune system, creating a stronger immune system, benefiting multiple different aspects of your body and your mind, and ultimately putting you in a far better position so that if you were to catch any virus at all, you would have a far better chance of having less negative symptoms and a far better chance of recovery. But for some reason, that doesn't seem to be a priority. Now, I don't know if it's because the amount of tax that you can get from a pint is more than you can get from a gym membership. I don't know how that works. But for the government to say that they are basing everything on science and basing all their decisions on scientific background and understanding, and then not putting gyms in the same category as restaurants, pubs, hair salons, and so on, is mind-boggling. I must be missing something because I cannot see the logic in them doing that. My only hope is that you're watching this video right now and you're back at the gym. Gyms have reopened, things are fine. Because it's the 23rd today of June, and fair enough, the Scottish Government hasn't made an announcement yet, but following on from what the UK Government has shown, gyms don't seem to matter, and gyms don't seem to be a priority. And before people say, oh, but we need the economy back up and running and we need to make sure that everyone's working again and that we're bringing in cash to the economy, completely understand that. And if you're a pub owner right now, or if you're a restaurant owner right now, fair play to you, you should be very happy that you're getting back to reopen. But let's not forget a couple of things here. If you want to talk about the economy, the fitness industry employs 160,000 people in the UK. Those numbers are verified by UK Active, the governing body. 160,000 people is a lot of people to employ. As we all know, in the fitness industry, there is many self-employed personal trainers. Also, there are many fitness business owners. They own gyms, they own personal training studios, they own a multitude of different things in the fitness industry. So if you add on all those employed, you add on all those self-employed, and then you add on all those business owners, I would hazard a guess and say that the numbers start to go up towards 200,000. The fitness industry generates £6 billion every single year to the UK. So if you want to talk about the economy, and you want to talk about bringing cash into the economy and why that's why pubs and restaurants and that sector's reopen, you cannot overlook the fitness industry, and you cannot overlook how that has such an impact on the economy, how that has such a positive impact on the people, and how that has such a positive impact on the community. And for that announcement to come out today really shows that when the government say and state that they're all about health and they're all about people's mental well-being and physical well-being and bringing diabetes down and managing heart disease. That does not showcase any of those claims today. So my only hope is that you're watching this and we're back to normal. We're back in the gym. That is my viewpoints on it, and usually my videos are very informative and hopefully give you guys value, but I felt as though I had to address this today. Everyone understands where we're coming from with this, and I hope sooner rather than later that our leaders also understand that too.